Ooh, boy, on this episode of Star Trek Universe, Matt and I are talking about some news. We got a Starfleet Academy trailer. We got a clip from Star Trek Strange New World Season 4. We got some stuff.
Woo!
After this.
Welcome to Star Trek Universe, the podcast where you get to listen in on two lifelong friends and chat about Star Trek. My name's Matthew Carroll.
I'm David C. Robertson.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Hey, man. I'm all right, you know.
Yeah.
Got a little cold. It'll be all right, hopefully.
No good. No good. Well, so we had New York City Comic Con. I have been very busy planning the wedding and such.
Right.
So I haven't done much paying attention to any of the con news. I've been catching up the last day or two. Now that it's all over and done with. So you're gonna be telling me the news for the most part, except for I've seen these two trailers.
Yeah. Yeah, I was blissfully in watching rerun mode and looked down one day and went, oh shit, there's a bunch of news. So yeah, first of all, Matt Mitovich, previously of TV Line, on his website has confirmed that Mary Wiseman will only appear on Starfleet Academy in one episode. That's Tilly.
Yeah. All right.
And, you know, I am happy because I don't like the character. But I've seen a lot of people be like, what was all that setup and discovery for? Yeah, it's real interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels like that's probably a change of course.
Yeah, it does.
I think a lot of people weren't a big... Tilly had a lot of detractors. I liked the character. I don't know that they ever gave her much depth to work with. She was... nobody really got depth on that show except for Burnham and Book. It felt like... It was like that show was the Burnham show, and then like her relationship with Book gave him a chance to get some like character development, but everyone else was kind of just like how they affected those two. And mostly just Burnham, and so you know, it was. I like Discovery for what it is, but I don't feel like most of the characters are that well realized. So I was kind of happy, like maybe Tilly would get some development in the new show. But I do think there's enough detractors from Tilly that like it's probably a good call.
I don't think it was the detractors necessarily. I think it was specifically that they were like, "Oh shit, we're getting Holly Hunter. Oh shit, we're getting." Guy whose name I can't remember,
Paul
who's
Giamatti.
playing the bad guy, Paul Giamatti. Yeah, and then like, oh, and we're getting Robert Picardo. Our budget's kind of looking a little tight.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I feel like she would not be the most expensive cast member. Maybe a little bit more than the others because she has a history on Star Trek. But yeah, that may be. You may be right.
Yeah, I don't know. So there's this there's this exclusive article over at Entertainment Weekly, and it's been talking about some of the details. And they also put out a bunch of preview images, but nothing that you really didn't see in the trailer. So we've got the trailer in the show notes. And they talked about Sandro Rasta as Caleb Mir, I guess, M-I-R, whatever, an orphan who's been searching for his mother, who's Tatiana Maslany for a long time, not knowing if she's dead or alive, and he realizes his best shot to find her is to join Starfleet Academy. I don't know why that's the case.
Well, it sounds like Holly Hunter's character convinces him of that. In the trailer, she says, like,
yeah,
come with me. Like, and it also sounds like they were a poor family on a planet where they were, like, saving up enough money to one day be able to go to Earth. And so, like... or saving up resources or whatever they needed to be able to go to Earth. And so Holly Hunter's like, well, you've been wanting to get revenge. You've been wanting to figure out where your mother is, all this stuff. Like, if you want to actually get a chance to explore the galaxy, come with me, you know? Maybe he's already off exploring, but it seems like maybe he was just never got a chance to launch off this planet.
Yeah, maybe so. I'm a little bit like, well, if you want a chance to find your mom, this is it. I mean, in your own time. You'll have like a bunch of coursework, and then we have like side missions that we're just gonna do like every fucking week. But like, if you can get the time,
yeah. Well, it sounds like to me, it seems like Holly Hunter's character might be connected to his mother in some way.
Yeah,
maybe sisters, maybe friends, like maybe they maybe they were like fellow officers or something at some point. It seems like there's some kind of connections there, which is why she would want to help him. So that's my guess, is that like, you know, she cared about, and so maybe she cares about finding this, finding his mother as well. Maybe she's been looking just as hard as Caleb has.
Yeah, now executive producer Alex Kurtzman said the second scene of the pilot is Tatiana, Holly, and Paul together. Just the firepower in the scene is so extraordinary.
Nice.
All right. They also take some time to showcase S.A.M, which stands for Series Acclimation Mill, a newborn hologram and the first of her kind to enroll in Starfleet.
Oh, that's cool. That's real cool. I like that a lot. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
It's you know, it gives like the Doctor a real like thing to see in the future generations. You know, Hollows, or what is it? Hollows Be Free? Was that the name of his book?
Something like that.
You know, he wrote that, and he like, you know, has lived the 3,000 years. Is it in the future?
I guess
10,000 or 3,000?
No, it's like 1,000. It's like 900 something years.
Oh, I thought it was a lot. I thought it was the 30th century or something like that. That's what I'm thinking of.
It's like the 32nd century.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they jump like 700 or 800 years. That's right. So I'm always thinking it's like more than that. But like it's cool that he got to live all those years and see the existence of S.A.M. That's neat.
Yeah. Now, this is worrisome to me. Kurtzman revealed they changed the character to match the high-energy actress, Kerrice Brooks. The character of S.A.M was not written for Kerrice in any way. She was a very different character originally. Mm-hmm. In the very first round for S.A.M, we saw a bunch of actors, and none of them were quite right. Then we saw her, and she had a very different voice than the character that was written. Noga and I called each other and we were like, we are in the presence of a genius. We actually need to rewrite the character for her. And we did, and we cast her right away and adjusted the voice for her. I feel like when they say stuff like that, and when they talk about how an actor is a genius, it's gonna be the worst character in the show. And if I'm looking at the trailer, I'm going, yeah, she's already a really annoying character, and is talking about how awkward she is.
I knew you would dislike that just because you hate that people talking about how they're awkward. I don't mind it generally. I mind it if that's all their character ever is. I don't mind it if characters are awkward.
Yeah.
I also find it a lot less egregious in a show about cadets, you know, still like getting their legs under them. It's a little more annoying when it's like, you know, you're on the Enterprise. You got one Barclay. You know, like it's like you got one of those, and the rest of them, even if they have their issues, like LaForge is not great with women or whatever, but he's still like a competent, confident human being. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they have their issues, but they're like confident at what they do, and that's a lot of why I think Tilly didn't work as well for you. But yeah, I agree. As soon as I saw that character on screen, I didn't even know she was a hologram, but I was just like, oh yeah, Dave's gonna not like S.A.M here.
Yeah, and it's I think we've talked about this before, but it feels like the first like 2 or 3 series, they were just like, let's do a Spock character who's detached and doesn't quite understand humanity. And then for the rest, after Voyager, they said, how about we do, every show has 1 or 2 Neelixes. And it's just like these annoying, awkward, just irritating people.
That's funny. And Neelix can be irritating, but I don't think he's that. Like, he's not the... Like, he was a fish out of water because he's among a new crew, but, like, he's not... He's very, like, confident and self-assured in who he is, though. I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, he's...
it's some combination of Neelix and Barclay, for sure.
Yeah. I just think it's you know, it's trying to write for what YA audiences, in my opinion. Like trying to help people that like feel, oh, I feel different from everyone. Like some of the power of good writing like that is like, yeah, you got the like I said, LaForge, nerdy guy, not great with women, blah blah blah. But part of the beauty of the show is like you watch it and see, oh, he found his place. You know what I mean? Like he knows he found his thing he's passionate about and he's doing it. And like that's like, to me, that's more powerful than having these characters that have to be so much like their audiences that they still like. It's nice to have a character that audiences look up to be like, not necessarily audiences have to like identify with right now.
Let's see. Showrunners made it clear the stakes are high in Starfleet Academy. It's such a weird thing to point out. They said it's hard to come up with a circumstance and a buy-in where you can still have Star Trek adventures with real stakes and real peril, but it's also a school. It's really important that viewers know that these kids actually go on real Star Trek missions, and there is real Star Trek peril and complex situations that they have to navigate. I do think that's funny because it's like, it's the exact thing that I've seen a lot of people complain about, and a lot of things that came to my mind. It was like, what is going to be worth watching in a Starfleet Academy show?
100%,
like, they're absolutely like aware, and that's good news to me, that they're absolutely aware that they like need to sell this, and they had to create something that wasn't just love triangles.
Yeah, for sure.
and you know, midterms or whatever.
yeah. I mean, like I can see that working for some people, and like I said, for YA audiences, like a Starfleet Academy show feels like it would be a great, like we've talked about, it's like Harry Potter or whatever. But like these kids are a little older. These are like, you know, post high school kids. These are, I guess it's similar to what they're doing with like Gen V right now. Have you watched that at all?
I saw the first season. I haven't caught up on the second season.
Yeah, you know, so you get the idea. It's like they're in college, they're doing their thing, they're learning to be superheroes, but it's also like there's a sinister thing at the school. So I'm assuming they'll like find themselves in some sort of real danger like pretty often.
Yeah, I knee-jerk react away from the, you know, comment that like anybody if the show is mostly made up of people who are under 30 is automatically CW.
Sure.
We don't have that. We don't know that that's what's going to happen. Yeah, there was a lot of kind of making out and stuff in the trailer a little bit, but
was there?
Also,
I saw like the one where somebody's stroking somebody's back. Was there a lot of making out?
Yeah, there are a few. There are like 3 kissing shots or something like that, and people are just overreacting like crazy on the internet.
Yeah, that's silly.
Like, oh, it's young love and romance. This is bullshit. And I'm like, I was more focused on, and we could talk about the trailer now. Like, that's the next thing up on my list is like, I did think I was shocked that like one of my detractions was Paul Giamatti seems to be hamming it up quite a bit.
Yeah, me too, man. What are you talking about? That's great. I do think his little speech about like, use that anger to fuel you, like is very mustache twirly, like to the point that it's a little unbelievable.
He seems to be playing his character from Shoot 'Em Up. Like I expect him to be like, oh, I'm a wascally wabbit. Yeah. Which, you know, he's half Klingon, half Tellarite, so maybe that's, you know, part of the charm of the character.
Yeah. I guess.
It didn't sit with me well. I didn't think the young Klingon character was. I thought his acting or his lines that he got was very stiff.
I enjoyed his line. It's a trailer. I always try to give a lot of leeway for like understanding what the context of the scene is always important for that. But I just like the line, like a warrior doesn't let his friend go into danger alone. A warrior never lets his friend face danger alone. I think it's a great line. It's a great line. Yeah. And it's like
a good line.
A great line that's like
or it's a line, really. It's not a great line.
I think it's a great line. I think it's a great line because it's this idea that like you're looking at the Klingon Empire and they have a lot of rules about honor. And you know, like religions develop over centuries, and it's like they sort of leave behind some of the fundamentalist stuff as they develop. And it becomes more about like how society functions, and you're like, oh yeah, maybe we don't all do this like more extreme thing. We sort of like that's something that happened back then, or maybe that wasn't really what God intended. But like those kind of religious things. I imagine this honor thing is similar, where like now that they're fully infused into the galactic community or whatever, and he's like a guy. He's like, I mean, I still believe in my like ancient whatever, but it's like I'm a warrior because I never let my friends like face danger alone. Like that's one of my values, and it's a value that fits into society in a much better way than like we have to murder each other to see who's the captain, like that kind of shit. You got to leave that in the like whatever the 2200s. You got to move forward with the times.
Yeah, I do enjoy how DS9 attacked that, where it's like, you guys are my best friends. You're going to be at my bachelor party. And they're like, yeah, Klingon bachelor party. He's like, you will hang from rods and be zapped with pain sticks. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
You must earn your honor or whatever.
That's some snake handling shit if I've ever heard it, man.
Yeah. Part of me thinks that Worf just liked to fuck with them and he was just making shit up. For all the crap they give him.
Believable for sure.
Did you hear that the daily announcements to the cadets will be given by Stephen Colbert?
Yes, and I love it. I love it.
Isn't it fun?
And he actually in the little announcement he read out one of the quotes, and it was very funny, and it was very much in Stephen Colbert's voice, sort of, and not just physical voice, but in like his comedy voice, I guess. And I was like, oh man, that's gonna be fun. That'll be really silly, and like just morning announcements from Stephen Colbert is great. I love that.
Yeah. So it comes out January 15th. The first 2 episodes are going to come out that day, and then following that, the rest of the 10 episodes will drop weekly on Thursdays. The finale will stream on Thursday, March the 12th. Here's the official synopsis. Starfleet Academy introduces viewers to a young group of cadets who come together to pursue a common dream of hope and optimism under the watchful and demanding eyes of their instructors. They discover what it takes to become Starfleet officers as they navigate blossoming friendships, explosive rivalries, first loves, and a new enemy that threatens both the Academy and the Federation itself. Yeah, I want to like this show.
Yeah.
Aesthetically, I'm not crazy about it. It's got a lot of champagne colors.
Yeah, for sure.
And
I don't mind that.
I
don't mind that. I like the color so far. I don't mind the aesthetic. I like the aesthetic so far. But it's more for me. It's more about like what's the tone and plot and characters going to be, I guess. I don't mind the little champagniness of it.
Yeah, I think there's just like a lot of like, it's like Maslany with the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Then the sky is champagne colored outside. The inside is champagne colored. Then we're at Starfleet Academy and it's champagne colored.
Yeah.
And it's a little much. Just like I want a little more color. I borderline feel like I'm about to watch a Zack Snyder movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I do like coming of age stories. I do like, first loves and all this, that high tension drama. I do like that, and I do think that's something that old Star Trek had to some degree.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm pumped for it. Like overall, what did you think of the trailer? I feel like you've responded to kind of like what other people are saying. Like, what did you think? Just like, did it excite you?
It did not excite me.
Okay.
It did not excite me. It's really hard to get me excited about stuff, though.
I get that.
Because I'm in a weird place where like I've been doing these podcasts and like I'm seeing stuff that I'm annoyed by, but I'm also seeing stuff that I'm like, I don't mind that, but I know other people are going to be annoyed by. I'm going to hear about that for like 3 months.
Yeah.
It's just multiple. It's like so many different like little lines of expectation in my head.
Right. You're experiencing it on like a professional level as a podcaster more than a personal level as a fan.
There is that. It's a bit overwhelming.
Yeah. I get that. I definitely get that. Well, watching these, like, any of these trailers for any of these shows that we cover, it's always like, okay, like, what does this mean for, like, the feedback? And what does this mean for how people are going to feel? And what does this mean for how the fandom in general? And is it going to last? Is it going to, like, I'm worried about all
Yeah.
these things instead of just like, hey, a cool new Star Trek show I can watch. You know, there's definitely that can be a problem.
I love Tig Notaro's there. I love Admiral Vance. I love Bob Picardo is back as the Doctor. So, I mean, you know, but I don't necessarily trust Discovery writers.
Yeah.
And I'm not crazy about it being sort of a spinoff of that in that era. So I've got a lot of little preconceptions that I'm struggling with. I want to really like it, and I want it to be a good show. I'll tell you what I really loved. My favorite part of the whole trailer was Caleb going, "Why's everything got to be a lesson?" And Alejandro goes, "It's a school, Caleb."
Really interesting. I that worked for me, but see, and this is me watching it, thinking about what you're gonna think. I thought you would be annoyed by that because I thought it was kind of a, I don't know, like a trite joke or like a silly joke to the point that it was kind of a cheesy joke. It worked for me. Mostly it worked for me because they laughed after. Like they laughed because of the way they received the joke was like real in the scene, and that worked for me.
Yeah. It was mostly her delivery for me, but I did love that he laughed afterward. Like, that's the thing that I really love in TV and movies is when someone says something funny and then the other person laughs. Because it's so freaking rare.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not supposed to treat a joke like it's funny and no, it is. People laugh in real life. Show me someone laughing and having a good moment.
It depends. You know, there's obviously like the wonderful like Leslie Nielsen school of comedy where it's like play it straight and that it does make it makes you live in the moment a little better, I think. And like that does work. I think that's a true thing, but like it is also, you know, not, it's not the only way to go. There's things like, I think of, I don't know, a lot of shows that I love. There's a little bit more like the joke is meant for the room, you know?
Yeah. Like there are shows like The Office or Parks and Rec and Brooklyn Nine-Nine does this where like you will get those moments where like the obvious moments that you know are coming where someone says something funny and everyone else is disgusted or annoyed.
Right.
And everyone's playing it straight. But then there are moments that you could tell that were not scripted where everyone kind of chuckles and people break a little bit and they leave it in as if, and you're like, oh yeah, this is why they're friends. They actually enjoy each other's company.
Right. Well, I'm looking at the writing staff of the show, and Alex Kurtzman, obviously one of the creators, but the other two creators I'm looking at, did they work? Did other creators work on Discovery? Because I'm looking at the two creators of the show, and it's not showing, at least on IMDb, on a quick search. It's not showing they worked on Discovery.
It was my understanding that some of the writers came over. So maybe
that is
I'm
possible,
wrong.
but the two creators who are listed as creators other than Alex Kurtzman, Nogu Landau and Gaia Violo, neither of them are listed as working on Discovery in their IMDb.
Okay.
So it might be more separated than you're thinking.
I hope so.
Yeah. So just to give you a little hope from that corner of that, I don't hate Discovery, but I do think like I'm looking for something different from this show. Like it as an extension of Discovery excited me less than it as its own new thing.
Yeah, I just haven't dug into all the writers. I thought I remembered reports that a bunch of the writers in the writers' room were coming over from Discovery.
It's very possible. I'm just looking. I solely looked at the creators on IMDb. So like the two, I guess, main writers or whatever.
I mean, and sometimes that can make all the difference, honestly.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like Discovery struggled and had new showrunners like every year for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
And they had starting out, Brian Fuller had built the show up, and then
I know
he left, and then the next showrunners were just awful and abusive, and they got shit canned.
Yeah, I'm scanning through, looking at the writing staff, and there's a few of them that have Discovery credits, but they also have other Star Trek credits.
Yeah, Kristen Bayer's one.
Yeah,
that is a big one that's around, but I generally don't mind her stuff.
Kenneth Lynn,
Tawny Newsome. Yeah, Tawny Newsome is from Lower Decks, obviously.
Yeah. That's great.
That makes me feel better. I forgot that she was on the writing staff.
Yeah, I had two. That's cool. Yeah, so maybe it's not as connected to Discovery as you were thinking.
See, we're not here to just shit on the thing. We're here to give ourselves hope, for fuck's sake.
All right. Well, what else you got in the news, man?
All right, what'd you think of this first look clip at season 4 of Strange New Worlds?
If I were watching it as an episode, I would be intrigued. I really like the idea of them it just looked like a good mission. It didn't feel shticky. Like, I mean, it's hard for me to like this less than last season's first look. I'm grading this thing. Yeah, the Vulcans. I'm grading this thing on like the biggest curve because I think it's kind of a boring clip a little bit.
It is, yeah.
But
well shot.
Beautifully shot. Really cool ideas. I like the flipping of the camera completely. Like Dutch angles are a very common thing in Star Trek, but to actually just like rotate the camera fully in a 360 was fun.
Yeah. And the little coming out of his eye, coming out of Pike's eye. Yeah, all of that was cool.
Yeah. Coming out of Pike's eye to see the thing. I loved that.
Yeah, it felt very Lost.
Oh, for sure. Like the close up of the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the thing that most excited me, and like the thing that if I were watching this as an episode, I love the idea of them being trapped somewhere. They somehow were forced into a warp bubble. They don't know where they ended up, and now they're just like out in an area, and they just got to send a shuttle out. The ship's on low power. They can't do anything. They have no sensors, and it's just like I like the idea of them solving the puzzle of like where are we? Who can we trust? What's around? Like that seems like a thing it could go for like half a season, and I would enjoy it. You know, like I really like the idea of the flagship
mini Voyager.
Yeah, mini Voyager, but like done in a way that, you know, I would enjoy, like building up the ship to be able and the community and I think that could be really cool. Like learning who's around, using relationships to like barter what you need to get the right materials to get your ship fixed and get back home. That's a fun idea. And you know, it's obviously been done before in Star Trek, but So if I was watching this as an episode, I think I'd be really intrigued. But as a first look clip, it was not very exciting.
Well, I think it's funny, personally, that they're branding this as a first look. We all remember the puppet. We know that was the real first look.
That's true. Well, I don't know. I don't think that was from the actual episode. I think that was just a clip,
right?
As a teaser that like was not. I don't think that's really actually part of the show.
Yeah. Now, I will say, and it is obvious, I feel like our longtime listeners, our regular listeners, are expecting this, and I'm sorry, but yeah, the clip was cool, but, like, my God, the leaning on Ortega's and her one-liners. Just stop, please, for the love of God.
You're gonna have to just accept it, man. Just learn to love the one... Stop fighting it and learn to love the one-liners.
Like, I'm just waiting on her to start, like, giving nicknames to everyone on the crew. She's gonna be like Sawyer.
Yeah.
I've been in a real Lost mood recently.
Yeah? You've been watching it a lot?
No.
Or just talking about it a lot?
I did have a very long conversation with Effie the other night about Lost and The Leftovers. And, like, I'm, like, sitting there, like, texting Effie and, like, weeping thinking about the finale of The Leftovers.
Yeah.
It's such a good show.
Great show.
Oh, let's see. No release date. Only a coming soon for Strange New World Season 4.
Okay.
During the panel, they said a lot of stuff that didn't matter at all.
Okay.
I got one quote.
Yeah, give it to me. I just did this for the MCU stuff, like going over all those things and coming out with the quotes that actually meant anything new, you know?
Yeah.
Very minimal.
Yeah.
Very minimal.
Henry Alonzo Myers says, all I would say about season 4 is that we wanted to go for broke. We really wanted to not leave anything behind, which is a broad way of saying go in every day like this is the last time you're going to get to do it. What is it you want to do? Let's do those. That's what I would say about season 4. I saw a quote. It's not a quote. It was a comment on Trek Movie. They're saying, I don't think Myers and Goldsman ever had an idea they thought was bad.
That's funny.
And I agreed. I agreed so wholeheartedly and laughed so hard.
Yeah, I could see that. Yep.
All right.
Pretty funny.
That's the end of the real news.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I do have this for you.
What is this?
Some updates on Star Trek United, the Archer President show.
Oh, yeah. Let's hear it.
All right. So Mike Sussman has been talking to Trek Movie about all this, and they've done a few different articles and an interview. And there's a few bits here. Sussman has conceived Star Trek United, of course, as a political and character-driven series, like Andor or The West Wing. It would center on President Jonathan Archer of the United Federation of Planets, which we know. What we didn't know is he's a family man. He has 4 adult children. He says Archer would be in a place in his life where Scott kind of is. He's got 4 adult children. The story is as much about them as it is about him. One is part of the diplomatic corps. Another is in Starfleet. Another is in Federation intelligence. They would be integral to the story we were telling. I'm already on board with that.
I am too. I love that. It sounds really cool. It sounds like it would be a cool way to like expand the lore of that time period. And it also gives us, I have no doubt that there will be conflict and we will probably lose some of those characters or one of those characters or something. And like, that will be a real loss for all of the characters, a family of Star Trek Starfleet officers. It sounds neat. I like this.
Yeah.
I like this idea a lot. Reminds me of Game of Thrones, weirdly.
Huh.
Have you watched Game of Thrones?
I saw about 10 minutes and I just went, nah.
Game of Thrones starts with the family, the Starks, who you met in the first episode. And then by the end of that season, they are scattered to the wind and they basically never meet up for the entirety of the series. So they do. Eventually, some of them cross paths, and by the end, the ones that are left do meet up, you know? But it's like, it's an interesting show because they're all these characters you care about because they're all kind of parts of this family that you cared about at the beginning, but they get scattered and sort of travel throughout the entirety of the show, sort of having their own adventures. And you're always like, you know, they're a Stark, you know, they're like one of your people that you're following, but they're like all having their own very different adventures. And that could kind of see that where like one of the, of course, in this version, of course, you could have communication between them since it's an actual world with communications. But yeah, I think that sounds fun. The only thing I don't love about this, you remember when we in Star Trek Picard, like the first season, second season, they really talked to Patrick Stewart and were like, yeah, you know, what story do you want to tell? You know, like they really got him involved in the creative process. I think some of that stuff was some of the weakest stuff in Star Trek Picard because it was like not really the story that needed to be told about Picard. It was just the story that Patrick Stewart was living through. And this kind of smacks of that. And it sort of belies this thing about Star Trek where our captains, the actors and the role are so intertwined, you know, that like, you know, if same thing with William Shatner, if he came back to make something, I'm sure he'd have a lot of input.
Oh shit, dude. Just go to Generations. He's riding horses and shit.
Exactly.
And, like,
hanging out in a little cabin. That's all his stuff. It's been going on for a long time. And I feel like this Archer thing sounds a little like that to me, where I'm like, this sounds like a good version of it if they do it right, but I don't really want you to be like, hey, Scott Bakula, what's interesting to you? Like, that's not really, like, and I know that's like a selling point for the actor to find something they can bite into, but like, just what's interesting to the Star Trek fans out here? What about us? You know, like, I don't need a bunch of stories about, I mean, even when you go, like, I love these stories, but even when you talk about like the first few Star Trek movies, number 2 through 6, really, where they're really dealing with like their aging and stuff. As much as I love that stuff, because I think it's really poignant, and like, especially as I get older, it's probably even more poignant. I haven't rewatched those in a while, but there's something that even at that time kind of smacks of that. You know, it's like, I kind of want to just like have a good Kirk and Spock story, but it's because they're aging, it kind of like, it infuses the story with what's going on in the life of the actor, not necessarily what you would want the life of the character to be.
Yeah. Well, as far as I think the I think what they did with Kirk in, I mean, really all the movies, I was really, really pleased with, especially, you know, the way Harv Bennett, like, basically manipulated Shatner into agreeing to do it, because Shatner was still going, oh yeah, we can still play the characters at 30. And he's like, no, you fucking can't, dude. So like they constructed this like wonderful, like, he's turning 50, and Shatner's like, no, and he's like, yes, but it'll let you act, okay.
Right. Well, I guess what I've talked myself into after talking it out and realizing they were doing that way back then, I think I've talked myself into, there are times where this really works and there's times where it doesn't. Yeah. And most recently I'm thinking about Patrick Stewart, and that stuff didn't work for me. Maman, but like
I mean, and that started, to be clear, that started in fucking Nemesis when they let him decide that he wanted to drive around the fucking dune buggy.
Right.
Thing.
I think it even started in First Contact with the death of his family, which worked.
Well, that was Generations.
Generations, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think in Generations, I think he even had a lot of input into that, where he was talking about it being, I forget, I read some interview recently about how, like, he was involved in the decision to, like, make it a fire, because, like, he needed it to be a more brutal death for his family, because it was supposed to be his family dies in some, like, more, like, easier way, and he's like, no, let it be a fire. It's like,
no, and I love that.
I do too. And so I think there's times where it works when these actors have input, but there's times when it doesn't, and so I just be thoughtful about how much input you let the actors have, I guess, is what I would say.
So, okay, I don't think I've ever talked about this, but one of the reasons I love that it was a fire is that it's the 24th century, and is such, if you had the modicum of 24th century technology in that house, that would not have happened.
Yep.
But his brother Robert was such a piece of shit and was so hateful about technology, like, that just, like,
yeah. And it's like the punishment of his children dying, Robert's children dying, Picard's, like, only, you know, living younger relatives that, like, he's connected to, his nephews and nieces, like, all of them dying because Robert was a Luddite, you know, and it's
so good.
It's tough, and it's such a great, and it informs that movie so well. And all the following movies and the series, like the fact that he's lost his family is a really important part of his character. So in that aspect of that scene, those things worked for me. But I guess there's just sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So make it work.
Yeah, absolutely. So he continued to talk about it. Sussman says he views United as more of a spinoff than a sequel to Enterprise. He says it's not just getting the whole Enterprise gang back together every week. It would be about these younger characters in their 20s or early 30s. You have the opportunity to bring in some legacy people, but it would largely be about this new cast. He says that, you know, since they talked about it with Paramount didn't want to do it because they also had another Earth-based project, which was Starfleet Academy. And he said because of that, he changed it. And now it's not set on Earth, it's set on the planetoid Babel that was first mentioned in Journey to Babel, a neutral world and a hub of interstellar diplomacy. And he says, Babel should have been the setting from the beginning. The parallels to real history, just as Washington, D.C. was built as this neutral city on swampland. That's basically the idea behind the establishment of Babel. And it also gives the whole adventure a Deep Space Nine feel, and that's cool.
Yeah.
And Sussman envisioned Babel not as a typical world, but as a terraformed planetoid designed to accommodate many species' environment. It would almost be like several different biospheres all contained in this one location. And you could have Archer's presidential mansion. That might look a lot like a mansion in Toronto or a mansion in Malibu. He did note that he wanted to open United with a long-awaited scene from the Romulan War, something we never got to see from an Enterprise Season 7.
Ooh.
He says fans were waiting for it, and you guys just kind of skipped over it. I share their frustration, so I would want to show some of that, and a particularly pivotal moment that's not just pure fan service. The aftermath of the war, decades later, would shape the series. Sussman also wanted to explore why the Romulans' resemblance to Vulcans remained unknown until Balance of Terror. He says it almost seems like the Federation, or the people of Earth as well as the Romulans. don't want the Vulcans to know who they are. You could establish that certain people in the government or the spy agencies have their strong suspicions. I would want to maintain consistency for sure, but that's the challenge. And we had seen them do that a little bit on Enterprise, where they had Romulans posing as Vulcans.
Yeah, right.
In a lead up to the Romulan War, anyway. While focused on new characters, Sussman hoped to bring back Enterprise alumni in meaningful ways. He says you can't have Jeff Combs as Shran just show up in a meeting and say, "Right on, Mr. President," and then disappear. They have to be integral to the story. He specifically mentioned, though, reviving the Romulan spy Taylock, played by Todd Stashwick.
Nice.
I'd love to see that character come back. I would want to see where he is now and what he is up to. I'm sure it is no good, because I think he's still undercover as a Vulcan causing trouble.
That's super fun.
Now, despite all the enthusiasm, Sussman is clear that United is not in production. This is not a real television show. Still, he remains hopeful amid Paramount's renewed interest in expanding Star Trek. He says, it is encouraging that they seem to be saying, we want to do more Star Trek streaming, we want to do more movies. If their plans involve expanding the footprint of Star Trek on streaming, then perhaps something like this could be a part of it. I mean, for me, crazier things have happened. Now look, also, one other piece of information that's, again, and this is, he told this to Andrew Probert. Andrew Probert, who is the designer, famously, of Battlestar Galactica ships and sets back in the 1970s. He was the one who designed the refit 1701 for motion picture. He designed the Enterprise D. Like, this dude is Star Trek in a lot of ways, like carrying on the torch from Matt Jeffries. And he got excited about the Star Trek United and started like sending Sussman like designs for to Archer's ship and everything for this show. And he had to say, like, look, Andrew, man, I love it, but like, we don't have no money. It ain't real. And he's like, yeah, but I like it. I want to do it. I want to talk about it. So they've just been like sending designs back and forth. They've got a couple of them over on like trekmovie.com. But
that's awesome.
And they look neat, and they're like unfinished and stuff. But I love that, like, it's gotten the excitement of Andrew Probert, of all people, just be like, oh, hell yeah, let's do this. I want to go back and design stuff from before the original series.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Because from his perspective, he's always been going forward. He's always been going after that.
Right.
But for something that's not in production, it's not like a real thing yet, it sounds really good, and it sounds like there's a lot of like ideas behind it. And I just hope, I want that in Legacy so bad.
Yeah, I do too. Those sound really good. I would hope they'd be really good. This has the problem of it being a prequel, but it's a prequel set at a time period of characters we don't know how their stories end, which is why I think it's a little more exciting for me than most of the prequels. Like, Strange New Worlds, even, I love the show. It's a lot of fun, but the fact that we know where all the characters end up, it sullies it away and like makes it harder to tell stories. So this sounds cool, because like, who knows who Archer's sons are and what they could do and where they could end up, and and that makes for better storytelling, in my opinion.
Yeah, and though, like, if they do this show, we're gonna have a scene somewhere where Trip shows up and says something about how officially he's supposed to be dead in history.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be real cool.
Because I don't think anybody took to that well.
No, they didn't like it, and it would be a really fun, like, early Section 31 type thing. I know they've done that in the books, I believe. So that'd be a really fun little connection to finally see on screen.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like Section 31 Trip Tucker, or now retired, shows up every week and has dinner with Archer in the presidential suite.
Yeah. That'd be super cool.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Of course, I love Scott Bakula. I want to see him, and I want to see all the characters pop back up and be like, let's see where they are. And dude, like, it's crazy. Like, I was just, did you watch The Paper?
No, I've seen one episode.
There is an episode where Linda Park, Hoshi Sato, plays a casting agent for a children's commercial or something.
Oh, that's fun.
Dude, I would swear it was 2005 again. That woman has not aged. I was shocked. I was like, that can't be her, because clearly...
Yeah, she was super young when that show was on.
Like, she would have aged, and I looked, oh my god, yes, it's Linda Park.
Crazy.
It's nuts. But yeah, I love all those characters, and I really do. Like, I told you a few weeks ago, after Strange New Girls went off, my wife took a nap, and Enterprise started playing, and I just got so sucked into it. I was just sitting there going like, damn, it's so much better than I remember. Yeah, I have a great fondness for that show and those characters, and I would love to see that again.
Me too.
And yeah, I do. I want Todd Stashwick back as well, like playing both Taylock in United and whatever character, like the holographic engineer or whatever they were going to do in Legacy. Absolutely.
Yeah, it'd be great.
But yeah, that's it. That's all I've got, man.
Sweet, man. Well, I dig it. I feel like there's a lot of cool things out there in the world that could be birthed from Star Trek. I worry about with the merger, just none of it going, or like them just deciding to completely change course and making MAGA Star Trek or whatever.
Yeah, that is a concern. I don't know. They do seem to be saying like over and over again they want to expand it and they want to do more Star Trek and I think that this is the way forward. I do, because one of the things that we as fans struggle with is like, for me, I'm like, fine, let's do some new stuff. Obviously, you have to keep it going for the next generation, no pun intended. But, I'm also like in a place where I'm almost nervous. Like, I'm like, you know what? We're not going to have these people forever.
Sure.
If Scott Bakula wants to do a freaking show with Mike Sussman that's President Archer, you damn do it.
Yeah, that would be great.
You don't just say no.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man, I'm in.
I don't know where else you expand it to if you don't utilize everything you have at your disposal.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of having these smaller stories sort of sandwiched in. Picard was nice that it like 3 seasons and out, like it's a nice little tale about older Picard. I think there's parts I would take or leave, but it was nice, and I think a similar show for Archer would be really, really cool. Like I don't think I need to be like an ongoing 7-season series, but just like a short run about those characters in that time,
Yeah, I tell you, somebody pointed out the Legacy not Legacy, Picard season 3 screwed up because the way they killed the Amanda Plumber's changeling character is they threw her out of the airlock as she froze in space and shattered.
Right.
And then they had the clip of them talking about the changelings floating in space.
Yeah.
Unperturbed.
I thought they floated in space in some sort of device. I didn't realize they were just floating.
Yeah, I don't know. But I saw that. I don't know. Immediately in my head, I just saw Picard like smashing the ships in First Contact going, no! No!
Yeah, I remember that from, Odo just like floated in space for a long time until until a scientist found him. But I guess I thought like he was in something, but maybe not. I don't know.
But the way I headcanoned it immediately, I was like, how do I fucking fix this? How do I still enjoy Picard season 3? Odo was a youngling.
Yeah, I was going to say exactly that. Like maybe like the older age, they couldn't handle the being frozen, or maybe it was the form she was in when she was kicked out. Who knows?
They become more solidified, more brittle as they age.
Yeah, their solid forms become more solid. He was so young and liquidy, he didn't even have the chance to freeze and shatter.
He was barely a jism.
Gross. Jism true.
Live long and prosper.
Thank you for listening to the Star Trek Universe Podcast, a Stranded Panda production. If you'd like to hear more from David C. Robertson, check out the DC On Screen podcast or maladjusted.tv for his web videos. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast or listen to his music. Just search for Matthew Carroll anywhere you get music.